Welcome back to the channel. Let me ask you something a little wild today. Have you ever thought that a single penny, just one tiny copper-colored coin hiding in your change jar, could actually be worth enough to change your entire week, your month, maybe even your year? I'm not talking about gold bars or rare silver coins locked away in a vault. I'm talking about a 1975 USA 1-cent coin. That's right, a humble penny that most people wouldn't even bother picking up off the sidewalk. But what if I told you that this 1-cent coin could be worth hundreds, thousands, or even over $100,000 under the right circumstances? And no, this isn't some made-up collector fantasy. It's real. And by the end of this video, you're going to be turning over every coin in your pocket and asking yourself, could I have one hiding at home right now? Here's where the fun begins. The 1975 Lincoln penny, officially the 1975 Lincoln cent, is one of the most common coins in circulation. Over 5.4 billion were minted that year in Philadelphia and Denver. You'll recognize it right away. The classic side profile portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, a design first introduced back in 1909 to celebrate the centennial of Lincoln's birth. Above Lincoln's head is the word Liberty, and to the right is the date 1975. If there's a little D under the date, that means it was minted in Denver. If there's no mint mark at all, it came from Philadelphia. Simple, ordinary, easy to overlook. But sometimes, it's the ordinary that hides the extraordinary. The reverse side features the Lincoln Memorial, with United States of America arched along the top and 1 cent boldly stamped at the bottom. The motto, E pluribus unum, sits just above the memorial. Now, that might sound like a whole lot of boring detail, but I promise you, stay with me, because something very special happened in 1975. And unless you know exactly what to look for, you might never realize what kind of treasure you've got sitting in a dusty drawer or an old coin jar. Now here's the twist. Among those billions of seemingly ordinary 1975 pennies, a very tiny number left the mint with mistakes. And those mistakes are where the magic happens. Let's start with the double die obverse, the kind of error that makes coin collectors' hearts skip a beat. This happens when the die that strikes the coin accidentally imprints the design twice, but slightly misaligned. On a 1975 penny, that might show up in the date in the letters of Liberty, or even in Lincoln's profile itself. If you spot faint doubling in the numbers or letters, especially under magnification, you may be holding a rare double die. One such example, discovered by a hobbyist just sorting through change, ended up fetching $7,800 at auction. That's nearly $8,000 for a penny. But it doesn't stop there. Imagine finding a 1975 penny that was struck off center. That means the coin blank wasn't lined up properly when it was stamped, leaving part of the design missing and a crescent of blank metal. The more dramatic the misalignment, as long as the date and mint mark are still visible, the more valuable the coin. A well-preserved 1975 off-center penny with a 70% misstrike. That one sold for $6,300. Again, a coin worth 1 cent turned into $6,000. Or how about a clipped planchet error? That's when the blank metal disc used to make the coin was clipped during production, resulting in a strange bite mark or curved edge. A clean-clipped 1975 Lincoln penny, with full design elements still intact, sold for $5,500. Yes, someone dropped $5,500 on a penny with a piece missing. But then, there's the truly bizarre, coin struck on the wrong planchet entirely. And this, my friends, is where things get really spicy. In rare circumstances, a penny might be struck on a blank mint for a dime, or even a foreign coin. That changes the size, the color, and sometimes the weight of the coin entirely, and collectors go wild for it. One 1975 Lincoln cent struck on a silver dime blank? It sold for a heart-stopping $12,000. That's a penny that's not just rare. It's a mistake that turned into a masterpiece. And now we get to the crown jewel, the legend that has coin collectors up at night checking their old pocket change. The proof error. Proof coins are not meant for circulation. They're struck with specially prepared dies and polished to mirror like perfection, intended only for collectors. But sometimes, just sometimes, a proof coin gets loose, or a proof die gets used by mistake in general circulation. One 1975 Lincoln penny believed to have been struck using a proof die, with incredible sharpness, flawless detail, and deep mirrored fields, turned up in an unlikely place, a random dealer's coin roll. After sending it in for grading, it came back as a PR68, nearly flawless. And that coin, my friends, sold at public auction for a jaw-dropping $110,000. That's right. 1 cent. A coin you could have walked right past on the street. Sold for over $100,000. Could you have one hiding at home right now? Maybe it's sitting in a forgotten coffee tin. Maybe it's wedged between couch cushions. Maybe it's sitting in a glass jar on your kitchen counter, just waiting for someone, maybe you, to take a second look. That's the thing about rare coins. They don't come with a glowing aura or a treasure map. Sometimes, they look just like the others, until you notice something's just a little off. So here's your mission. Grab a magnifying glass, get out that old coin jar, and start searching. Focus on the 1975 pennies. Look at the lettering. Examine the edges. Tilt it under a light to see if anything jumps out, doubling, strange color, weird strikes. And if something seems unusual, don't spend it. Protect it. Submit it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. You never know, you could be sitting on a fortune. And if this whole coin treasure hunt has you hooked like it has me, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap that bell icon so you never miss the next hidden gem we uncover. Because we're not just talking about coins, we're talking about forgotten treasures hiding in plain sight. Remember, the 1975 1-cent coin might be more than just a piece of copper. It might be a key to something huge. And somewhere out there, someone just like you is holding onto one right now without even realizing it. Could you have one hiding at home right now? That one coin, that one penny, it could change everything. Stay curious, stay sharp, and happy hunting. We'll see you in the next one. And who knows, maybe your coin will be the next to hit the headlines. And that legendary 1975 penny struck on a proof die with multiple identifying anomalies. It officially sold at auction for $110,000. You might want to check your change. What if I told you that a penny you've walked past 1,000 times, tossed into jars, dropped between couch cushions, or even forgotten in your car's cup holder, could actually be worth thousands, tens of thousands, or maybe even more? This isn't about rare silver dollars or old colonial coins locked in a museum. This is about the 1984 Lincoln 1-cent coin. That small, coppery coin that's been around for decades and seems so ordinary, you wouldn't give it a second glance. But what if hiding behind that ordinary look was a rare error, a minting mystery, or a collector's jackpot? Could you have one hiding at home right now? Let's talk about what the 1984 Lincoln penny looks like. It carries the familiar profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the front, or obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln faces right, with the words "I in God we trust" inscribed above his head. To the left of his face is liberty, and to the right, the date 1984. If there's a small d under the date, it was minted in Denver. If there's no mint mark, it came from Philadelphia. Flip it over, and you see the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. United States of America curves across the top, with E pluribus unum just above the memorial and 1 cent printed boldly at the bottom. Sounds like any other penny, right? Billions were made that year. In fact, over 8.1 billion were struck at the Philadelphia Mint alone. So why should anyone pay more than face value for it? Because not all 1984 pennies are created equal. Some of them carry something extraordinary, something that turns them into collector gold. Let's start with one of the most famous and highly sought-after variations, the 1984 double die obverse. This isn't your run-of-the-mill error. This is a legitimate, Recognizement mistake. On this particular penny, doubling is clearly visible on Lincoln's ear. It appears as if he has a second earlobe, and not just barely. It's prominent, noticeable even without a magnifying glass if you look closely. That one detail, that small mistake, transforms this common penny into a collector's dream. This doubled ear variety has been confirmed by major grading services and is a prized find among hobbyists. Depending on condition, these coins have sold for hundreds, even thousands of dollars. A certified MS-65 red example of the 1984 doubled ear Lincoln penny sold at auction for over $7,500. And get this, higher grade versions have crossed the $10,000 mark. That's $10,000 for a single cent coin with a tiny flaw that the naked eye might miss. But wait, it doesn't end there. There are 1984 Lincoln pennies with other fascinating errors too. Take off-center strikes for example. These occur when the planchet, that's the blank metal disc used to make coins, isn't aligned properly in the coin press. The result? A coin with part of the design missing, and a crescent of blank space showing. The more dramatic the misalignment, the more valuable the coin, especially if the date remains visible. One off-center 1984 Lincoln cent with a 50% strike and full date sold for over $5,000. Then, there are clipped planchets, coins that were cut incorrectly from the metal sheet, leaving a bite-like shape missing from the edge. A 1984 penny with a clean curved clip and full design intact can command thousands, depending on its condition and the visibility of the clip. One such example fetched $4,100 at auction. Now let's talk about transitional errors. Coins struck using dies or planchets meant for a different year or denomination. While no confirmed major transitional planchet errors are known for the 1984 penny, collectors are always searching. A discovery of such an error could skyrocket its value instantly. And there's always the mystery of coins struck on foreign or incorrect planchets. For example, a penny struck on a dime planchet. These are lighter, smaller, and have a distinct color or weight difference. If you've got a 1984 penny that looks or feels different, thinner, silvery, or just off, get it checked. A 1984 Lincoln cent struck on a dime planchet sold for more than $6,700. But the real question remains, could you have one hiding at home right now? That coin jar in your closet, that old box of change in your garage, your childhood piggy bank, any of them might hold a 1984 penny that's far more than just spare change. All it takes is one sharp-eyed searcher, one curious collector, to spot that doubled ear, that off-center strike, that clipped edge. Imagine finding that tiny treasure tucked among your loose coins. Would you know what to look for? Would you recognize the clues? Now is the time to find out. Grab a magnifying glass and pull out your 1984 pennies. Look closely at Lincoln's ear. That's where the biggest money is. Check the edges for clips, check the alignment for off-center strikes, and look out for anything unusual. If something catches your eye, don't ignore it. Get it authenticated by a trusted grading service like PCGS or NGC. Because what you think is just another penny might actually be your ticket to thousands. And this isn't just a collector's fantasy. This is real. One 1984 doubled ear penny in brilliant uncirculated condition was auctioned off for an eye-popping $11,800. So could you have one hiding at home right now? Every time you see a penny on the ground, in your car, or in a drawer, you'll remember this. Because sometimes the biggest surprises come in the smallest packages. That 1984 penny might not just be a coin. It might be a story, a mystery, a treasure. So go check your change. You never know what you'll find. And if you're loving the hunt as much as we are, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss the next big discovery. Because in the world of rare coins, today's penny could be tomorrow's payday. What if I told you that the small, reddish-brown penny you tossed into your junk drawer years ago could actually be worth thousands, tens of thousands, or even more? A coin so common, so seemingly ordinary, it's almost invisible in your daily life. But it hides a secret. Because we're talking about the 1988 Lincoln 1-cent coin. A coin that, under the right conditions, could flip your world upside down. And the best part? You might already have one, hiding in your home right now. Now, let's talk about the 1988 penny, a coin you've definitely seen 1,000 times, probably spent without a second thought. It's got the same iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, that side-facing bust we've seen since 1909, designed by Victor David Brenner. Above Lincoln's head, we see, "In God We Trust." To the left, the word, "Liberty." And to the right, that familiar date, 1988. If there's a small D under the date, it was minted in Denver. If there's no mint mark, it was made in Philadelphia. Pretty standard stuff, right? On the reverse, we've got the Lincoln Memorial. United States of America. Arches above, 1 cent, anchors the bottom, and E pluribus unum is tucked just above the memorial itself. It's a simple, elegant design. But don't let that fool you. Because behind that simplicity is a web of error coins and hidden rarities that only the most eagle-eyed collectors have uncovered. Coins that have sold for $5,000 to over $100,000. And one of them might be in your pocket change. Let's dive in. What makes a 1988 penny go from being worth 1 cent to being worth a fortune? One of the most famous and valuable variations is the 1988 reverse of 1989. Now, at first glance, it looks like any other coin. But it's all in the details. In 1988, the mint was transitioning its design and die styles. The reverse die used in 1989 featured sharper, more defined elements, especially in the area of the designer's initials, FG, for Frank Gasparo, at the base of the memorial. Some 1988 pennies were accidentally struck with the 1989 reverse die. It's a small detail, but to collectors, it's massive. These transitional errors are insanely rare, and when certified in top condition, they've been auctioned for up to $3,500. But it gets better. The double die obverse is another holy grail of the 1988 penny world. This occurs when the coin's design is struck more than once with slight misalignment, creating a shadow or doubling effect. Look closely at the date, the Liberty inscription, or "In God We Trust." See any doubling? That tiny detail could turn your 1 cent into $7,000 or more depending on condition and visibility. And we're just getting warmed up. Ever seen an off-center strike? That's when the coin blank wasn't positioned correctly when struck, causing part of the design to appear off-center, or even missing. The more dramatic the misalignment, the more valuable the coin, especially if the date is still clearly visible. One 1988 off-center penny, showing a whopping 60% shift, but still with the full date visible, recently sold for $6,200. Just imagine, a factory mistake turning into a collector's dream. Let's talk about the strange and mysterious clipped planchet errors. These are coins that were struck on blanks that had been improperly cut, resulting in visible bites taken out of the coin. They look damaged, but they're not. They're rare and they're prized. A clean 1988 Lincoln cent with a significant curved clip and full date intact? That one changed hands for $5,800. But if you're thinking that's the limit of what a 1988 penny can do, think again. Some 1988 Lincoln cents were struck on foreign planchets, blanks meant for coins of other nations, or even different U.S. denominations. These can be smaller, thinner, lighter, or even a different color entirely. A 1988 penny struck on a planchet meant for a dime, for example, was found to be underweight and a silvery color, and that one fetched nearly $9,500 at auction. Then, there's the unicorn of 1988 pennies, the proof coin that never should have circulated. Proof coins are made with special dies and polished to a brilliant mirror finish, usually only sold in collector sets. But occasionally, one slips into the wild. A 1988 penny with proof-like qualities, full red luster, and no signs of wear was discovered by a sharp-eyed collector who had no idea what they were holding. That coin was later verified by a professional grading service, and get this, it sold for $110,000 at auction. Yes, you heard that right. 1 penny. $110,000. So, could you have one hiding at home right now? That old coin jar on your kitchen shelf? That collection your grandparents passed down? That random penny you found under your car seat? Any of them could be worth way more than you think. All it takes is one rare strike, one die error, one minting mistake to turn 1 cent into a life-changing payout. Take the time to look. Get a magnifying glass. Examine your 1988 pennies closely. Focus on the initials on the reverse. Inspect the date. Look for doubling, look for off-center strikes, and check for unusual shapes or colors. And if you find something odd, don't spend it. Protect it. Submit it to PCGS or NGC, two of the most trusted coin grading services, and get that treasure evaluated. You never know. That one coin, that one little piece of copper, could be your golden ticket. Could you have one hiding at home right now? If you enjoyed this story, and you're as excited about rare coins as we are, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss another treasure story. Because every penny has a past, and some have a price tag you wouldn't believe. And yes, that legendary 1988 Lincoln penny with proof qualities and a rare transitional reverse? It officially sold at public auction for a jaw-dropping $110,000. So what are you waiting for? Go check your pennies. Your fortune might be hiding in plain sight.